let's be totally transparent. What do you get out of this is the question that I get asked. Or how do you make money out of the podcast? And really, this is probably an opportunity, I think, with this is like episode 44, where we've never actually really spoken about what it is that we do.
Mm.
And so I'm going to give you first opportunity to talk a little bit about this. So, there are opportunities that have opened up for you as a result of the podcast,
Yeah.
and services and products that you offer. So if people were going to find out more about you, or if they were interested in engaging you as a consultant, or what specific areas would you be able to help with people and add value to their world if they wanted to engage with you outside of the podcast?
Yeah, well, we've got our Launch and Beyond email addresses, Adam at Launch and Beyond or Jim.com, not .au, just launchandbeyond.com. Also Adam at adamsbakeshop.com.au. So between the two emails, I check them every day. And basically what I do is just cakes and manufacturing food, more sweets at this point. But currently writing a book. I've got one book written. I'm just going through the edits. So that's the right way to start a business, titled "It's Time to Start Up." And then I'm working on a second book at the moment as well. It's about leadership. So we talk about. I've stolen some of Jim's stuff. I don't think it's.
It's not my stuff. It's just I'm just the channel through which
Well,
that
that's
information is
yeah.
coming.
No, it was just basing leadership on personal growth and finding out your core values and your value system, because you need to know who you are to enhance yourself to become the best leader. And then the second part of the book is leadership skills and principles and how you roll that out. So I'm working on two books at the moment. So they're not ready, but hopefully in the new year, at least the first one, because one's completed. It's about 200 pages. So just going through the edits. So that's my sort of stuff. And then I'm also looking to get into the market of coaching and doing some more courses to get certified and verified, and actually have content and the capabilities to come up and coach properly when someone has an issue that I haven't dealt with. Because it's all good to coach people in issues you've dealt with, but there's a whole lot of other stuff that's out there that I haven't even seen because I've never been exposed to it. Because I've been in my parents' business and I've been in my uncle's business and I've been in my business. And, when there's other businesses out there that I've never even touched, I don't know how to coach people. I know most skills are transferable, but I still haven't got most skills down pat yet. So I want to do a bit more coaching, which involves more growth on my side. So I will get to coaching eventually, but right now it's focusing on the books and my business.
Okay. And what about the consultancy work that you do?
Oh
You
yeah.
mentioned that quite often during the podcast, and I've got asked that about you as well.
Oh yeah.
What type of consultancy work does Adam do?
Well, I do hospitality consulting mostly. I have done business consulting, but hospitality is product development, menu development, presentations at trade shows, presentations in front of key clients. Like hospitality is obviously McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut, Domino's, globally. So I've been Dubai, Hong Kong, South Korea, around Australia. I've cooked in Germany, Turkey, France. I've cooked Vanuatu, Fiji. So I've cooked a fair part around the world, and everything's paid for, expenses, my time, all that stuff. So I guess I do that sort of stuff. But at the same time, I do a whole business for hospitality consulting. So I can write your menus. I can tell you where to buy the best coffee machines. I can tell you where to buy the best stainless steel tables. I can show you how to train your staff, what's the best point of sale systems, how do you build your structures to scale it, how do you take your one business and scale it to 10 businesses, sites, and do you want to stay national? Do you want to go international? So I do that sort of consulting as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
That gives people an overview of what it is that you're working on, because that gets asked regularly, and I figured let's bring it into the podcast
yeah,
as well. So that's all cool. So I guess from my point of view too, in terms of look, I do have a presence within healthcare. That's not really where I do where the majority of the work, particularly within the podcast that I'm working in, is in the coaching and mentoring consulting phase. Really, that's pretty the biggest changeover process. And you mentioned, Adam, our organization Lux. So we started coaching and consulting with healthcare practitioners about 9 years ago. And what we realized is a lot of these skills and tools that we were talking about were transferable to other areas. And so my wife Bettina and I launched Lux Consulting, which is an organization based on principle-based coaching. So we have got our accreditation. I'll definitely direct you to some phenomenal courses. There's some pretty ordinary ones out there, but some fantastic ones that to support and help you out. And that was part of the reason why there was a gel in there as well too. You know, you mentioned to me earlier on, we worked together and you said, I'd want to go there. And I went, great, awesome. Let me show you the way. So I'm always encourage that process in there as well. But so that's what we do. And between us, we focus on, we've got more of a premium type of a program and product. We're not the right fit for everybody. And so a lot of people who come to us, we realize we're not going to do our best work in that area. So we'll refer them happily to somebody else. But so we do our one-on-one coaching, but we run a lot of group coaching organizations. We're launching a whole bunch of those now. Some of them are entry-level programs that we run. And so they'd be amenable to a lot of people who may perhaps starting their journey in personal growth and development. So it's a 6-week program that we're running. We run a 12-month group accountability program, which we are leveraging and starting a new intake of as of next year. And that brings people from different walks of life in a group setting. This is kind of what Adam was talking about. We used to have people come and get together, breaking bread, having dinner, discussing a principle from different walks of life. And it's phenomenal, the learnings that we had out of there. So we incorporate that. We also run a lot of online programs for people in personal growth and space. And we run a retreat, which is a 3.5-day immersion program where we have a live-in process. People, it's all fully catered and organized, but we have 3.5 days of immersion work. That's growth to help you excel and thrive in all areas of your life and your business as well. So that was that. And from that, what we found is so many of the people and the entrepreneurs that I was working with, they were getting phenomenal results in their world. And the biggest issue was raising capital. So after, for the last 5 years, I've been doing this indirectly. It's amazing how that happens anyway. And I ended up formalizing it where I'd be sending people off to financiers and go, listen, go and talk to this person, this person, this person. And because either they couldn't communicate their vision strongly enough or they weren't able to understand what was going on as well, there was a gap. So what I did is I formalized my financial commercial broking license and have gotten a license to be able to help people facilitate that process. So now the entrepreneurs that I work with go and raise capital. We send them off and become a conduit for helping them raise money to fulfill their vision. So that's the third avenue. It's kind of like the expansion or the financing arm of Lux Consulting.
Yeah.
And that's really the case in there. I get asked that all the time. I haven't been deceptive. We've in passing mentioned that, and it wasn't deceptive. It was just like, it never came up that, like I'd expand on that. But because it kept on coming up again and again and again, people would say, look, tell us what the hell you're doing. Tell us what you both are doing, because we may want to talk to you more about that. And I'd love to know more about that. So that was us expanding on that as well.
And I guess we try and present the content without promoting ourselves too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have past experience and we've got experience and we've got multiple businesses, both of us. But we don't always have to harp on that.
Yep.
For long-time listeners, they'll get sick of hearing us say every episode,
Yep.
oh, but this is what we do and that's what we do. And if we take example from Andy Frizella on his podcast, he had the MFCEO. I remember, I think I listened to like 8 episodes before I knew he even owned a company called First Form.
Yeah.
And he was very conscious not to promote his product.
Yeah, and I think we have as well, because there's a lot of podcasts that I listen to which are advertorials basically, and nothing wrong with that, because that's the business model that they're working on. And could we do that more? I know a lot of people that have listened to our podcast go, listen, you're not talking about your products and services anywhere near enough. And it was like, well, it was never an intention. People who want to work with us will seek us out.
Yeah.
I'll work it out, and I get it. But I've got asked this so many times that I figured, okay, if I answer it once, I'll keep referencing it, but it'll give people a context of what it is that we're working on. So,
and you should see our connect at launchandbeyond.com, our email. we do have about 7 or 8 different advertisers or like customers who want us to advertise on the podcast, and we've made the option to not do that because we don't want to cheapen the brand for that. Because firstly, if we don't use the product and we don't believe in the product, why would we promote it just for a quick buck? Sure, all right, but I prefer to have a better engagement with people rather than using a cheap product just to finance ourselves.
Yeah.